What's going on, Scorpio? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an incredible week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Scorpio, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy how yourself has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why, Scorpio, because it's your general energy weekly spread. Or something like that. It's, still work in progress. But sidebar here, Scorpio, and if you can't tell, I'm in the middle of a move right now. This is like my halfway point to the move. Like I said, I've got about another week of this before I'm really kind of settled in. So just a little insider note here on my adventure. But let's get back to you, because with this reading here, whenever you happen to come across this weekly video, there may be some messages here for you, Scorpio. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Scorpio. So Scorpio, I'm going to be pulling a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then I'll get some more details with the tarot cards. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested there, Scorpio. Wow, I actually saw this earlier when I was doing the pre-shuffle for you, Scorpio. You got the third card of Geminis here, which is this one's not as funny. This is the Broken Heart card. And with this card, this is a card of heartbreak, interference, sorrow, grief, funk, sadness, mourning, distress, letdown, gloomy, hopelessness, regret, crisis, unhappy, hurt, bitter, devastated, and emotional pain. And Scorpio, if we've been... Oh, I felt that, Scorpio. And listen, that might be something, Scorpio, if we are going through something like this right now, I feel like, especially for a water sign, my sun sign's in Cancer, so water sign to water sign here. When we do get in feelings like this, even the ones that are they're not fun, like this is, who wants to feel any of that? But the purpose of these feelings of all of this, is to, I feel like it's either one, it's to learn about, I feel like, to see the duality of life, when we're thinking about Gemini energy, because we can either, this gives me almost very kind of like a nine of swords types of vibes, where it's like we can focus on what has happened, what is, how we've been, how this a situation or maybe a person has brought us maybe all this emotional stress and strife and things, or we can, as it makes sense, start processing how this, what lessons are meant for us to get out of this. How can I grow from this situation here, Scorpio? Because, you set the pace for change. When it comes to transformation, that's one of the biggest things, that everyone will talk about with your sign. And you feel things to a depth where you feel things more, I feel like, more intensely than any other sign. That's where it's a gift and a curse, Scorpio, and it's one of those things. It's when we learn to work with that. Even when we see that, like the curse aspect of it, because yes, you're seeing the ugliness of even some of these more, it's one thing to feel the distress, but to really see the bottom of it, that's some tough stuff there, Scorpio. But man, the light that you can really shine on that and the catharsis that you can feel from that, I even just getting chills just even thinking about it. It can be something, just, you talk about transformative, but it goes to show you too that when we do, because this isn't the first time you felt this, Scorpio, and it may not be the last, but the nice thing about these situations are it does help strengthen you. Each time we learn how to communicate with ourselves a little different, you know, where we can see it's like, well, yes, my heart's been broken, I'm feeling this stuff, but you aren't these emotions, you know, you aren't, you know, gloomy, unhappy, these things, that's the stuff that you're processing right now. And I feel like that distinction is very important, especially for water signs, to make sure that it's meant for us to learn from that, not to try to, we want to embody the lesson from that. We're not trying to bring let that drag of that hold you down, Scorpio. So, and this could be something as well. If we've been feeling this thing, you know, just thinking about how Gemini can be a sign of communication. If we've been feeling some things and we've been keeping this stuff bottled up, and it's really, you know, coming to our detriment, Scorpio, finding that person that you trust and open up, be okay being vulnerable, because because I feel that your sign does can feel the way that it does, that maybe we might keep stuff kind of bottled up, because, you know, your sign is one that can get into the realm of associated with like secrets and things. And it's not that I feel like you want to be secret, it's just that how are others going to feel about how you might be processing this, because how could they understand, you know, if they're not feeling it to the depths that you are. But I will say the thing with that would be where yes, they may not be able to understand it to your degree, but they can at least kind of maybe meet you halfway with it, and you can fill in the rest of that gap. You can tell them what you saw exploring in the depths, what you felt going in those depths, and then help raise not just your empathy, but maybe even the persons that you're talking with as well. You know, there could be this really, I'm just seeing this healing all around here, Scorpio. And we can and wouldn't that be beautiful if we can take like a broken heart situation, and even as I feel like this heart is splitting open, it's not that there's anything underneath it. It's a new fresh heart is grooming from that, because, you know, now we're shedding an old skin here. That cycle is over. So it's just like, how do we grow and expand from that? I'm with it. Let's get some tarot on this. Not keeping it, but here's Gemini energy popping through. But, and you know, that's something too, before I get these cards, Scorpio, so we really start getting into it. Something to think about as well, just thinking about that communication too, because Gemini is very social. We want to be mindful of when we are communicating these things, you know, especially just not even just to people, but in like our everyday interactions, where it is okay to, you know, feel these emotions. If we get into like an argument or something, and if we're communicating, if we're still feeling kind of raw from this stuff, just be mindful of communicating from a hurt place, you know, to kind of sling something at someone who may not, it's like, whoa, you know, that energy wasn't for you. You know, I'm processing some stuff right now. Can we maybe, I need some space right now. Just like, I feel like if you're going through a lot, let's just maybe make that like a known, just like, hey, before you push my buttons, just know that I'm, you know, we're feeling a lot. And if you don't want any part of that, you know what I mean, Scorpio. But let's get some tarot on this. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you got the Five of Pentacles upright here, and then you got the Ten of Cups in reverse. And so, you know, Scorpio, it's because I know where these feelings can get you in a place where you feel down in the dumps, where you feel that you don't have any sort of security. And when we're not feeling emotionally secure in any aspect of our life, it does affect the overall picture of that, because that becomes where there are plenty of other things going on in your life as well. But when we get in these heartbreak stuff, you know, that healing space, that sometimes takes center stage over your happiness. But it's not that it's meant to, that this is going to be the tone for the rest of your journey. It's that this situation here, this low point that you may be feeling, is helping you paint a better picture of this. It's just like, okay, how do I get from not feeling like this again? Or how can I, when I get in this situation like this again, how do we keep 10 of Cups in mind? You know, what does that look like? You know, what actions can I take to keep this balance and keep this security, you know, just when these little bumps in the roads happen. And I feel like, you know, Scorpio too, when we're going through these situations, and I know how this is going to sound, but when we get into a place of regrets, you know, about things that happen, it's like where, sure, we can regret stuff, but it's more so like, I feel like regrets are a really stark reminder for us, especially if this is something maybe that if, like if we regret like a situation that happened, or like, man, I regret going out with this person or something along those lines. It's just like, don't regret it, because if anything, that person has made you more resilient. You know, it may not have been the way that we wanted it to be delivered, but it was what we needed in that moment. And you know what? A good practice too, even especially for if this is like a person or things like that. And even if this is a situation, you know, it's one of those things, we may not have control of the situation, but we can control how we feel about it. And when this thing has transpired, we send that situation love and light. You know, it's just like where I didn't care for how this went down, but you know what? What's throwing more Five of Pentacles around going to do other than lower the vibration? Let's do some 10 of Pentacles, because that helps you too. You know, when you're able to send that energies like love and light and able to laugh about it and things, you know, really find the little nuggets of joys and what ways that can fill up your cups. That's what I feel like, you know, 10 of Cups is really all about. That's compassion at its finest. This is Mars in Pisces, and Pisces is very much, even when things go down, they can still find that compassion and that love for people. And where I'm not saying that you let others, you know, take advantage of you or anything, or, you know, sap your energy or things. We do want this to see this for what this is. You know, this is getting you like a level of discernment and a level of wisdom and something to pass down even to others there, Scorpio. So, I mean, just look at you, just going to work. Oh, all right there, Scorpio. Nice little start there. I like that. Let's get some more on this. Interesting. Speaking of Pisces, you got the 8th card of Pisces here, which is the Old card. And with this card, this is a card of weary, retired, exhaustion, bone tired, needs restoration, overdue, old habits die hard, enduring, the good old days, family pattern, back in time, stuck in the past, and nostalgia. And you know, Scorpio, I feel like with this card, you know, really being careful about just getting stuck in the past. You know, when we stay in these situations here and stay in the place of just repeating those moments of sorrow and grief and things. But it's one thing, Scorpio. I'm not saying that we don't process this and feel this and heal it and things like that. You got to feel it to heal it, absolutely. But it's just when the lessons become baggage. You know, when all of the areas in our lives of like how we can get past this have been clear, at some point we do need to take responsibility. It's just like, are we perpetuating the situation here, especially if this is something that has passed? Because again, it's where, you know, I get the healing part of it, but we want to heal and keep it, you know, keep the momentum going forward. Because if we stay stuck in the past, it's not that to say that you're not going to get to this sense of fulfillment or abundance or anything, but it's just we're taking the long road now. And so just you know, just something to, you know, if we find ourselves, you know, I feel like especially, you know, and this is going to depend on how much fixed energy you have in your chart, but just being a fixed sign, we're just looking at that as a basis in general, Scorpio. You know, we want to be careful about being fixated on things to the point of our detriment, you know, and take this cycle here while you're processing this stuff. Because whatever this separation, sadness, all of that, when we get in that kind of like, almost like it's like a combination of like a 9 of Swords, 3 of Swords type of energy. You know, that sort of like sorrow, melancholy type of energy. Absolutely. Self-care to the max. You know, try not to ignore this stuff, because if we avoid these things, that stuff starts to fester, Scorpio. And then if, you know, eventually, I feel like higher self likes to usually keep the tower moments in-house. But if we keep ignoring the signs, then we got to get external, you know, and that's not, again, not to scare you, but it's just to get you thinking about some things. So definitely self-care to the max. Love yourself, because it can be exhausting just processing this stuff. And again, to be able to feel, because listen, Cancerian, being a Cancer, I'm feeling just all the time. And you to be able to just to feel so deep all the time, like, I get it. It's just like, man. But it does strengthen you. It gets your intuition sharper. It gets you, it really does. It helps you grow in the long run. So know that new patterns are going to be coming, because sometimes too, when we stay stuck in an energy, we can get so used to that thing that we can, like, the idea of normalcy almost can seem scary, because it's just like you know, and I hope that is making sense, but it's just like, yeah, there's something about, like, when we move past that thing, there's something so freeing about it. But let's get some tarot on this and get some more on the mix. There it is. I'm keeping all that. Oh, okay. Got a nice little stack here, Scorpio. There's one of your rulers here, the Tower. Interesting. All right, we got a lot to work with here, Scorpio. So we have the... Oh, wow, yeah, we do. Okay, so we have the King of Wands, Queen of Wands, so we're definitely going to talk about a little love here. King of Wands, Queen of Wands, the Tower, the Three of Cups, and the Fool in reverse here. But then we have the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles upright. And so I feel like with this energy, Scorpio, for some of you, there may have been a relationship thing that might not have gone as we planned. You know, maybe there was a lot of passion at first, you know, a lot of energy. It was super cool, but then maybe something happened. Maybe this was something your person initiated. Maybe this is something that, maybe we discovered something that, because normally I don't like to read the Three of Cups as like a third party, but maybe there was some outside communication as well. But I feel like with this energy, Scorpio, even if this felt like this was like the one, you know, just for some of us, if this is like a love thing, I feel that this is an opportunity for you to let this thing, where it may not have gone how we wanted, but the growth that you're going to get from it is what you needed. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the universe doesn't just like it, because it can feel that it's like, well, how come love hasn't come our way, or things along those lines? And it's just because I feel like there's some other areas that we can grow and be a little bit stronger, so that when that actual King of Wands, Queen of Wands, you know, energy comes around for us, then it's just like it's natural, it's magnetic. You know, we're just like we're vibing well. You know, we're making that connection. But I really feel that try not to let this situation here prevent you from taking new opportunities in love. For example, if this is something, if that's a part of this that is resonating with you. But I also kind of feel with this energy here, just with the King and Queen of Wands being in reverse, if we've just been really kind of low energy as far as just in general, you know, just not been feeling inspired, haven't been feeling like just been sort of just going with the day and not really, you know, just that's not wanting to get out of bed, you know, just really been dealing with this stuff. I feel like the Tower being in reverse here, you know, how I was saying, you know, I feel like higher self likes to keep these moments internal here. And honestly, Scorpio, with your ruler Mars being in Leo right now, there's some of you, actually, now that I'm thinking about that, depending on where your Scorpio placements are, you may be in a situation where, because squares they're tricky, you know, they're kind of like the universe sort of like throwing a curveball at you, and it's going to put you in a weird little jam there. But again, it's not meant to keep you down. It's meant to get you to make that connection and get you in a more stable place, to really get you feeling abundant and more secure in your journey. And again, I feel like, because speaking of, you know, more opposites here, you got with this Taurus energy. Taurus is your opposite sign. I feel like really be patient with yourself in this, and really be present when these situations are happening, because that's a connection for you to really connect with your higher self, and really there's a bond here. I feel like that it's solidifying here. You know, it may have felt like a shock, whatever this situation's gone down, but man, it's really going to help you get into this place of control, you know, really of understanding your emotions. And And I feel like too, just because Jupiter just entered Taurus not too long ago, and so that's going to be opposing your sign, forcing opposition. So there's going to be some decisions, I feel like for some of us as far as making. This may involve some people, doing some things. You may feel that your security is threatened, but it's all meant for us, again, to really get to this 10 of Cups zone here in the end. And I feel with all of this, because that was just a lot to just process there, Scorpio. And I feel that because there's, potentially this could be a, little tricky, maybe little cycle here for you with Mars being in Leo and then, Jupiter being the next year kind of being opposed your Scorpio placements. It might be some trickiness, but try to still have fun in the meantime, because while Mars is in Leo, that is very fun energy, very much about joy, getting back your self-confidence, getting in that creative kind of place, getting back in the 10 of Cups, all of that. So, whew, a lot to unpack there, Scorpio, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. It's going to definitely, all this work is going to raise your vibration through the roof. And I just feel like, just try not to let the shock of this thing keep us from taking new opportunities in the future. So, all righty. Let's get your last one here, Scorpio. Nice. Okay. Last card here, you got the second card of Leo's, which is the Pioneer card. And with this card, this is a card of boldness, destination or bust, the cutting edge, long journey, trailblaze, true grit, challenge, navigating uncharted territory, resourceful, team, got your six, and unflappable courage. And I feel like, when we're thinking about this journey, it is a long one, Scorpio, and the experiences that can come from Tower moments to Five of Pentacles to, King, Queen of Wands popping up reverse in your life. It takes resilience. It takes that endurance to go through this thing. But when you do, it really does. Because these situations are meant to show how tenacious you can be and how, again, in faces of adversity, how you can turn that into your advantage. And it really is just about really coming up with a game plan. It's just like, okay, this thing has happened here. What's the best way for me to process this? Where can I channel this energy? Maybe do I need to put this in? Maybe I need to go on a retreat, or do I need to maybe is it like, do I go be of service to some others? Maybe go helping others, or maybe we're starting to like work out or something along those lines. Maybe like kind of work out, like kind of exercise that excess energy out, however that's looking. But when you think about the King of Wands, he rules the first two decans of Sagittarius and the last decan of your sign there, Scorpio. So when it comes to growing, especially even from situations like this, he's going to do a deep dive, and it may hurt, the stuff that he uncovers while we're going through this thing, but it's going to inspire newness. It's going to allow us to take that leap into a cycle of healing and a cycle of growth and a cycle of leveling up, Scorpio. So, be thinking about this. We may be in uncharted territories in the sense, like when we're processing this stuff, but these situations we've been through this before. It's just like as we get older and get wiser, they take on, same problem, just takes on a different form, different scenarios, different energies. But we've, keep up that courage and to be able to get up and face that stuff head on. Absolutely, you talk about destination or bust, that's Queen of Wands all day. And, because now actually that I'm talking about this, I'm kind of feeling like maybe for some others as too, that if we've had like an idea that we've been cooking up maybe here recently, or maybe if we even had something that we've been thinking about for a while, maybe we had like an idea in the past and we maybe thought it was kind of silly, we kind of scrapped it. There's something here, I feel, that if we were to maybe revitalize that, revisit that little situation here, We are in a time of, you know, the only crazy ideas, the ones that aren't being implemented, whether this be for a side hustle, a main job, or even just like a hobby or interest. Explore that stuff, Scorpio, because there's opportunities in that. Who knows? Maybe you start trailblazing, but, you know, inspiring others. But let's get some tarot in the mix. All right, last little bit here, Scorpio. I'm with it. I love this. Mars and Scorpio here, because you got the 5 of Cups and the 8 of Cups in reverse here. And then we have the Page of Pentacles upright, and that's actually really sick, Scorpio. Let's switch back over. Because here's the thing. Life is going to throw you stuff that, you know, we may feel disappointed. You know, we might feel upset. We may regret these things. It's just like, how could this stuff have happened here? But these situations are not meant for us to just drag along for us, Scorpio. This is, like I was saying, this is Saturn and Pisces, this 8 of Cups. And with Saturn being in Pisces, you know, it's like, it's the one that's forming a trine with your Scorpio sign. So there's some easiness. There's opportunity, or an easy opportunity for some growth here, Scorpio. If we get eyes on things where we notice or we're noticing areas that we're feeling hurt and we're feeling, you know, or disappointed or regrets, or however this might be translating. How can we turn that into an opportunity for healing, for growth, for abundance? And I feel that when we're able to take that skill that you have, and that transformative skill, and really work that to your advantage, it is going to get you into this place where you're feeling on top, where we're feeling lucky, where we're feeling, we look at that, we started, you know, we're working on it right now. We started as a you know, Page of Pentacles, but we're going to get to King of Pentacles at the end of the game here, dressed like a pimp here, feeling in your best energy. But it's just getting eyes on what things have been holding us down, you know, whether this be, you know, feelings, people, however that's looking, you know, setting up those boundaries, doing that shadow work, and the growth will be exceptional. So I think I'm gonna leave that there, Scorpio. I like that. So if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, and you know, share this, because this can be tough. You know, when we're getting into those feelings, you know, sometimes we can get caught in that spiral. It can be tough, but you know, it's something that we just got to be adaptable. And then, you know, share this if you haven't, or subscribe, and then, because you already did that, share it some more. And then subscribe, hit that bell button, you get notified when I have these videos each week. And you know, something, maybe an app for you to check out while we may be kind of ruminating about this. I've been on this meditation app, Insight Timer, for years, and I started a group on there called Zodiac's Raising the Vibration, and it's just a group to post positive messages of positive affirmations, encouraging messages. You know, even talk about your tale. I was actually telling Aries and Scorpio I may start posting my tales of little tower moments and things like that. Well, we'll see how that goes. I'm still kind of formulating that in my head. But as the group grows, definitely want to start scheduling some different meditations and things, and who knows, maybe getting in touch with, maybe being present with the Hierophant. Who knows what that's looking like, Scorpio, but all that information's in the description box. And then the last thing, if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever, come on over to my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there, and we discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get you a surprise card here, so I can get you out of here. Page of Cups. And I like that, Scorpio, because now that we're processing these emotions and really kind of feeling this stuff out here, you know, sensing, you know, what areas we can grow, this allows us to create new opportunities, you know, to take from. And I love this. It's like now we're really building stuff up here. We're recreating our foundation. Let me get your oracle card. And I feel that this is something where once we start doing that healing, Scorpio, it's going to get you feeling in a good place, you know, hopefully get you feeling where we're feeling excited about life again, and able to see how the opportunities were coming for this emotional growth that was happening here. And I like this. because you got the witch bottles in reverse here. And what I'm more so kind of intuitively getting from this Scorpio is not to keep this stuff bottled up. If we've been feeling this kind of way for some of you, try not to, let this stuff express yourself. Even if we don't want to tell someone these things, like, because I completely understand, however sensitive this stuff is, write it out. That could even be something too, maybe starting a journal, maybe even starting like a blog, however you do it, because I like the pen and paper, but if you want to do it on a laptop, I'm with it, make it work for you. But I feel like just not facing these issues, facing them head on, even if it's sometimes just them being on a page, they have less power because now they went from just kind of feeling abstract. We got eyes on them now. They've manifested. So it's just like, what can I deal with that? Let's get a game plan. So I like that, Scorpio. I think I'm gonna leave that there. So you stay safe out there with all this, because it's tough. It's tough. Believe me, I get it. I absolutely get it. But it's gonna make you stronger, Scorpio, and I know you know that. And it's hard when we're in the midst of it, but when we start to get toward, when the energy, starts to wane and we really get in that reflective state, we see it was all worth it in the end. But yeah, just in that time. And you know what, also too, raise your vibration through the roof. Self-care to the max. Do some fun things for yourself, and however that's looking like. Maybe hang out with some friends, whatever, Scorpio. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.